Does anyone have any questions back there?
First off, I know it's not on the topic of education, but do you know when construction would begin on Camp Landing?
So the Division of Emergency Management closed the request for productions last week. I don't know if they've gone through and evaluated. I mean, all these projects are competitively bid, so they got to score the projects as they come in, or the vendors. So eventually, I think vendors will be selected, and then at that point, they would be able to do. Now, we're also going to see what the demand signal for this is. You know, we did the Alligator Alcatraz and set that up last week. It was something that DHS, because people have been concerned, why aren't there more deportations? I know Cayenne, wants to see more, right? I mean, it's like you have Biden let in how many millions and millions, just Biden, and we had many millions before that. And so they're like, okay, and what DHS would tell us is, look, we don't have the manpower and the capacity to just be processing and have someone in like a bed overnight or whatever before they can be deported. So they asked us for help on that. Now, we're the only state in the country that requires our state and local law enforcement to participate with immigration enforcement. And that's part of the reason why on any given day, the number of arrests of illegal aliens throughout the country, 15 to 20% are just Florida alone. So we're punching way above our weight class on that. And so we said, okay, we'll help. And we have an ability with emergency management to move very quickly. I mean, you remember in Jacksonville when we had the Delta COVID. You remember COVID was 2020. Then they had these mRNA shots, and a lot of people took them. And people said, if you take it, COVID will be over. And yet you had a massive Delta wave in the summer of 21, even as all this stuff had been out. And so it was like, I mean, it was really going fast too. So, but we did have a treatment, these monoclonal antibodies. And so people were asking, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. So we set up clinics. We did the first one in Jacksonville. We ended up setting up all over the state. That saved thousands of lives just by doing that and doing it very quickly. Can you imagine if this were California, it would have taken them 6 months to be able to do any of that. So we move very quickly, and we take pride in that. And so when we had the opportunity to do this, we said, listen, we'll do it if it's going to be something that is actually going to bear dividends. We don't want to do it just to do it. And so DHS basically approved it. So everything we're doing will be reimbursable by the federal government. And so people say, well, Florida should be spending. First of all, when you spend money for this, you save money because you take stress off hospitals, schools, criminal justice, all that. So I don't even want to, enforcing the law ultimately will save money rather than just let lawlessness take over. But we're fronting it, but we are getting reimbursed in it. So we were able to stand it up in about a week. And so they did, I think the day or two after we opened it, when the president was there, they started bringing people. And I can tell you, the reports I've had, some of these people, these are really bad dudes. I mean, and I'm not one to say if you're here illegally, you have committed an offense, and I would do no amnesty for anybody. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, only if you commit serious crime should you be deported. I think the law needs to be enforced. But the reality is some of the people DHS is sending there, they have committed criminal misconduct, and a lot of criminal misconduct that's probably not been even charged because they're just involved in some of this stuff. And so, we need to make sure that they're removed from the country. So DHS is going to be doing that. And so what we want to know is, okay, what's the demand signal for it? We're happy to stand it up, but we want to make sure that it's being used to effectuate the removal of illegal aliens from the country. That's why we're doing this. We're not doing it just for show. We're not doing it just for, it's can you do that? And if you do that, that will pay dividends for people here in the state of Florida. It'd be better for education, it'd be better for healthcare, it'd be better for all these things, better for housing, quite frankly, particularly rental housing. So, and Cayenne knows all this because she's been working on this with us for years. So I think we'll be able to move very quickly if there's the demand signal for that. Now, on the emergency management front, we do have people en route. Our water rescue teams are en route to help Texas. Just as a dad, when you see that, that's a real heartbreaker. And there's people are trying to politicize it. The reality is I think there were alarms, or there were notices that went out at 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. in the morning when people were sleeping. I mean, it's like there's not an easy fix to that. It was a very freak thing. And so rather than cast blame and try to politicize it, I think we should all pull together and do what we can to help the people of Texas, because it's Mother Nature. When it's just, especially the water. I mean, we see that in Florida with storm surge and stuff. It can be really, really nasty. And this was a biblical flood. It was much more than what I think they anticipated. But nevertheless, we're in that. Texas has helped us when we've had different issues throughout the years, and we're happy to step up. And we've helped Texas in the past too. I know we helped them in Harvey, some of the other things. But we are engaged in that with our resources. And if we can be helpful on that, then I think it'll be a good thing.